What's up, guys? I wanted to just do this short video to explain why cheat meals don't work, in my opinion, and why you're kind of wasting your time with cheat meals and how there's a better option and what that option is. So firstly, what is a cheat meal for those that don't know? Typically it's when someone's been in a calorie deficit for an extended period of time, and then I guess they reward themselves, which is the first problem. With a meal that's completely untracked, you know, usually something that's quite enjoyable, whether it be pizza, burgers, whatever the fuck it is, doesn't really matter. A cheat meal where it's completely untracked, when you kind of just go all out, which often leads to more than just the meal, and it can lead to a shitload of calories in a small period of time. You know, the purpose of it, a lot of people believe that it's going to help kickstart fat loss again. It'll help keep them on track because it gives them something to look forward to, blah, blah, blah. And then we move on from there. But the problem with the cheat meals, and the reason why I don't agree with them, is because they just don't work. So how fat loss works, as you should know by now, is that we are in a calorie deficit, meaning we're in negative energy balance, burning more energy than we're taking in over time. And we create that by eating in a deficit on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So say you're in a calorie deficit over the span of 7 days, and you've eaten in a deficit for 6 days, and then you get to the 7th day and you have this cheat meal or a cheat day. So you just go all out with your food. What happens is all of a sudden you've just fucking blown your calorie intake through the roof, to the point where you may not, and very likely won't be, in a calorie deficit any longer for that week. So you've put in the work for 6 days straight, you've got to the point where you're in a calorie deficit, you're in a negative energy balance, and you're putting yourself in a position to lose fat. And because of that one meal or that one day, you have almost ruined your chances of losing body fat. Now, not only have you done that, you're creating a really shitty relationship with food, because you feel like you can't eat certain foods if you want to lose fat. And that a cheat meal, what that's going to do is it kind of engraves in your mind that foods are good and bad, which is not the case. All foods contain calories. And which is why I follow such a flexible approach with my macronutrients and my calorie intake, because the beauty of that is that it allows you to continue to have the small amounts of these foods on a daily basis if you want to, and still lose body fat. So just keep in mind, guys, the reason why cheat meals are shit and not worth your time is because it completely fucks up your progress, and it can also create such a really unhealthy relationship with food. So what should you do instead? Even if there is days where you want to eat more, if you want to have days where you have a really high calorie meal, the best option for you is to track your calorie intake and plan out a day or a couple of days a week where your intake is much higher than what it usually is. So I've talked about this before when we talk about calorie cycling. So if you know how many calories you need to have on a daily basis, over the span of 7 days, you work out that total, and we can distribute those calories however we like. So a really rough example of that would be, I'll make it really simple because I'm shit at math. So 2,000 calories a day. And I've talked about this on my email list before, recently actually. 2,000 calories a day over 7 days is 14,000 calories for the week. So if we're having 14,000 calories for the week and we're in a calorie deficit, we can achieve that 14,000 calories however we like. So really easy example, if I was having 2,000 a day, and I wanted to have 1 day a week where I went super high with my calorie intake and enjoyed more food, more calories, the best way for me to do that would be to take some calories from 6 days and add them on the 7th. So how that might look is we might take 200 calories from 6 days a week. So instead of having 2,000 a day, we're having 1,800. What we do on the 7th day is we add all those calories back in. So 200 calories a day for 6 days over the span of the week. That's 1,200 calories. We're going to add them back on the 7th day. So instead of having 2,000, we're having 2,000 plus 1,200, so 3,200 on 1 day of the week, which obviously allows us to eat a huge amount of food and enjoy foods that are probably higher in calories. Allows you to have those foods that typically you may have on a cheat meal day, without fucking up your progress and blowing out. So on average for the week, we've still had our 14,000 calories. And we're still going to be in a calorie deficit, even though we've had 1 day of super high food. Now, the beauty of that as well, mentally, is something to look forward to. Physically, in the days following, you're probably going to train a lot better, feel a lot more energetic, recover a lot better. And as I said, mentally, it gives you something to look forward to. a lot more likely to stick to your calorie deficit for an extended period of time, and actually see results. At the end of the day, we want to see results. So it's all well and good to be super strict for 6 days and then have a cheat meal, but if you're not seeing results, who gives a fuck? What's the point of doing it? So hopefully this makes some sense. Let me know if it does help you out or not. And yeah, give it a try. Switch out your cheat meal day for a high calorie day or calorie cycling. You need to know your numbers though, guys. If you don't know your numbers, then you can't expect to see results.